So this is Stef Sanjati's place. We're over in Founders. Oh wow, that's a crazy looking house over there. But over on this side, we have a very dressed orcish house. I mean, it's solid with the shaping because we have the whole gazebo set up, and then we have like rocks that are helping to shape the place. So pretty unique on how they wanted to set this up, because the rest of the house has just been like skinned over. You can't really see any trace of it at all. So I think it's a good and clever way that she, again, she like skinned the place. Over on the side here, we got the pet wyvern. Hey, and along with the wyvern's treats. I'm assuming that's not for us, that we just like set up something special for them, because would I eat that? I don't know. Would he eat that? Or she? I don't know if it's a girl or not. Probably. Actually, she'd be going for the damn sheep that's out there too. Otherwise, the house is dressed nice, very nice with the greens and everything. Lots of like extra growth right on the side. And let's go on over. We enter and we're greeted with this whole cavernous look, like right away. You know, we got rocks that are like lined all over the top, but at the same time, she also wanted to keep the whole structure here of this otherwise not vaulted, but she wanted to keep the actual framing of this octagonal room. So you have everything's just been kind of like colored in. You can kind of see like small gaps in between, but you know, like I said, she wanted to preserve that, and it works out good. Works out really well. I mean, you'd have to do that because you're holding up all these rocks and everything. So you got to have like these huge wooden structures. At the centerpiece of it, we have this war table with which to make plans for the Broken Isles. No, for Draenor, actually. The boss is right over there. So there's Steph just chilling on her throne, going over plans for whatever. Well, probably the Broken Isles. She's a big fan of the greens, so we should expect something like that to be spilling all over the place. You know, from the back of the throne to the sides and everything. And then as we go across, we can see little fixins. You know, little bits of decor that she's been setting up over the years or over all this time. You know, throughout all her adventuring as a holy priest. So a little bit of the Arakoa stuff going on, and again with the greens. Right over here, more collections of things that have been found throughout the years, stuff that's laid down, greens that they've been collecting or otherwise planting and setting aside for later. You know, and you can see just how things just kind of burst out. Lots of color in each of these spots, and you can see how it tells the story of like how things start to encroach and start to like grow around these areas. It's like, okay, here we are, we're working on stuff. Hello to Jack and Jill right over there. Actually, wait, it's only Jack. Or Jill. Actually, Jack's on the left, Jill's on the right. Yeah, so only Jill, no Jack. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, we can see like how the greens, they spill over, and it's like, okay, let me move this stuff out of the way and all that. You know, so it has this natural feel to it. As usual, we got plans for Gilneas and otherwise some places to sit, relax a bit. You can throw some stuff down, including the Harajic Cube. There you go. And let's go right this way into the kitchen and living space. Now I gotta say, I'm very impressed by this kitchen because of its simplicity, or at least how natural it ends up sitting, because it's rock. You know, some people talk about, hey, check out my cool granite counters. You know, we lined up with these platforms and yada yada yada, which is great. Here she just used rock, like straight up. So cabinets, shelves, still right over there, rock right on top. It works really, really well when trying to recreate this sort of rugged look, and then it reflects all over. Like we have some plumbing going on because we've got the running water with the basin, but it's all coming from. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but again, we have the built-in rock to just again give a really strong personality to how the layout of this kitchen turns out. A simple, humble table with which we're eating noodles. We're enjoying some coffees. Actually, it's a little cup, so it's almost like those are like shots of espresso or something like that. Or it's like long brewed coffee, something like that. So again, we have like lots of rock that's being used for the space, and she also added the pillar here to help support, to to support the cave structure. More greens as we're looking through. Some work in progress right behind there. It's all good. Another little fountain for the ambience and all that. More work in progress right over there on the side. And then finally we have like this kind of like, I don't know if it's like a fireplace or whatnot, but just this kind of like small space where she set up a rugged brazier right below the forge or fountain that's being used. And a little, okay, I'm saying like it's a little dragon. A cute little dragon skull right up top. Notice again, lots of use of the greens here. You know, very, very, very liberal use of it. Like, you know, they just let it go. It started growing, cool, leave it alone for the most part. Now going through here, now we enter the kind of bedroom space. And this is one of my favorite things seeing used, is just that they just put up a wall. And she also flank it with these pillars over here to just create that separate space. You know, so it kind of closes things up, because here we have like a fairly simple bed right in front of the fireplace. You know, we sleep, we get up. This is the view that we get as we get up, nice and warm. Keep the feetsies comfortable. The bed itself is being protected by the 3 great guardians, Reptar, Snuffles, and Miss Murgle. And then the spread back here. Actually, let's start here. So first off, we have this very, very cool dedication to the light. So again, she plays as a holy priest, and this is just kind of like a, not exactly like this super constructed or you know, altar setup sort of thing. It has this very natural look to it. But at the same time, you have like these strong colors using the Dranathus lights, the Draenei window, that sort of thing. But it's sort of contrasted or supported by the Paladin book. I forget what it's called, but the Paladin book, it helps out a lot with that. And then we have like what looks like kind of a tribal feel to it with the different kites and effigies and whatnot to support the whole Mag'har theme. In this corner over here, we have this kind of like bookshelf that's been set up. You know, they took a different kind of bookshelf, skinned it with these rugged sorts of beams to retain that sort of look. You know, they wanted to keep things, you know, more or less closely on theme to make sure that things don't clash too hard with each other, even though we're collecting things from like all sorts of different eras and locations. Saw this fireplace already, but in this case, it's being very strongly branded. You know, we have the Horde branding up top, tusks right around it, and rocks are being used to help support the shape. Yeah, because otherwise it would look kind of like, you know, not plain looking, but the rocks help to really dig into the theme. And we have some other rugged objects right over here, including like some troll-related themes. And then we get into the bathroom. And in the bathroom, I got a modest tub. Again, with the greens, it's being celebrated, just greens spilling all over the place. Barely being held up. You know, we have it there, but then we also have, you know, just regular ceiling as other parts. Oh, interesting that the window is there, but it's also being draped closed. Yeah, so it's like, boom, can we go through it? Does it move? Doesn't move. But then we otherwise, after the bath, we get dressed, check out our transmog, full body, facial kind of looks, and we're good to go. Yeah, really pretty. What we got here. And then we have this little study nook inside. Remember, we're still in the bedroom part. So we have this like rugged shelf right over here. That's built in, nice and filled with all sorts of different books and little knickknacks. And then, so we went through here already. Now we're backtracking, going to this spot. And then we enter this kind of like, you know, things just kind of open up. We open up into this like big outdoor cavern. But to the right here, you know, it's not exactly random, but we just have like this sort of like different setup of like all these like greens that have been laid out across the area. Some piping over there, a little bit of a campy spot so we can just kind of chill there and have something to eat. And this does not, it's an empty stairwell room, but really good job of setting up the climb here. It's not at a 45. You just have this very like subtle climb with it being supported with just beams and then some rugged fencing up top here. And then we study. It's just a little study area. But also, it just kind of has like a really cool vibe to it because it has the whole high ceiling, and then up top there you have like some different fixings over there. Like you have the kobold overhang over there, and lots of crystals to help brighten the spot, give it a sort of different thing. And then up top here, you can tell right over there you have that bit of a shine through. Sorry about the angles here. You have a bit of a shine through because you have like greens that are bursting through. A tree just kind of makes its way in and then just busted a hole in the ceiling, so you have some light shining in. So really cool. Again, very liberal use of like rock faces and different things to shape the room to however they like it, and it's being used to great effect. Not only just not just in like this room here where it's like pretty much all rock all the way around, but also here too, where you have rocks that are very carefully placed in these spaces to give a sort of different feel to it. But you also have like areas that are like more or less paved over. So very cool. Did I make this? No, this is Stef's house. So someone just asked me to do a tour of the place, and I asked in advance, hey, I'm going to be looking at your place, or I'm going to be like showing it off on stream, and I'm going to be using her place as kind of like a kind of inspiration as to how I'm ultimately going to like set up the greens. Most importantly, I'm going to borrow a lot definitely from like this kitchen space, and then I'll incorporate like some of my own like wacky ideas into it as well. But I think I have a good general sense of what she's looking for. Chances are I'm going to recreate similar spaces, similar space to this or to this right here, but I'm probably gonna smush it down by about 30 to 40%. It's gonna be pretty tight looking because I'm gonna be doing a lot of like lining stuff up with like trees and rocks and other things to again give this whole illusion of we just walked inside of a tree. So that's gonna be the challenge.